I think that's where the man separates from the boys. Hi, I'm Miltonchang of Bonsaiheirloom. Today I'm standing behind 3 Japanese maple trees I bought from Home Depot late fall 2022. So they are about 2.5 years ago when I got them. And I would prune them today to let it have one more flush of growth. What I will do is that repot it when the fall is here, in a sense after leaves drop or before the next spring, and put them in a bonsai pot to show you potentially what you can accomplish in 3 years to make a bonsai, nice bonsai. And I did make one change, is that I switch out this small bonsai. This one is a little bit bigger than the shohin size, in a sense, more than 8 inches tall. The reason why I switch out a plant is that because the other one, the leaves was not as too large. I'd rather have a smaller leaf maple. So this is what I did. So with that in mind, then let me work on the big one first, and then the medium size and the small one. To show you very quickly, I can carry the next step. I would say this is about the 3rd pruning from the tree I bought. So the first thing I would do is to pop it out of the can. But in this case, you will see the rootage is so beautiful already that I really want to disturb as little as possible, sustain its growth. So I'm just going to pop it out so I can easier work around it, and also to show you the rootage of this tree. I didn't do anything special aside from cutting off the crossover roots so that everything is going out radially. So you can see as I turn it, you see this is a beautiful root coming out and spread out. And then these roots are coming out. This one, I tried to cut it here, and I think at the end of the day, I need to clean this up. It could be a nice rootage, but overall the rootage is really very nice. Look at that. It's all around spreading out, reaching out, like grasping the earth very powerfully. So I'm not going to disturb the root much, but you can see Japanese maple trees are very vigorous grower. They grow, look at all the roots. So when I put it back, give it a lot of water and fertilizer, it will grow very fast. The next step is to work on the apex. So let me cut off the redundant branches so that I can see where I'm going. In a sense that the super long branch, I'll never use them. And so I just cut them off to help me visualize what the bonsai ultimately wants to be. And I'm not going to save these cuttings because the leaves are not that small. And I have varieties that are much more smaller leaves. So I'd rather focus on the high potential trees than the lesser desirable trees. I think that's where the man separates from the boys. A lot of places, people just want to have a bonsai, and they've stuck any old tree that's of decent size into a pot and sell them as bonsai. I would never do that. Anything that come out of Bonsaiheirloom has to be reputable, has to be excellent and differentiated. Sorry to do a little salesmanship, but that's really how I feel strongly. Well, Bonsaiheirloom wants to be a trusted source for bonsai that you can be proud enough to provide as a gift. And that's really going to be our main business, serve both the hobbyists and the gifting market. So with that in mind, then, I've now need to work on each of the branches, the top of each one, and try to clean it up a bit. So each tree, I need to have an apex. First of all, you want to determine where's the front. And if you look at the rootage, this part of the roots is really beautiful. See how it goes out and spreads out. So this got to be the front, because there you have opportunity to redirect it, reshape it, whereas this is fixed. So I will make this the front, and this is the tallest tree. So I need to work on this first, and because it's also a front. And then I try to, given a mature tree, the top generally are branches coming out, not so much one straight top apex, but rather sub-branches spreading out. So that's what I would try to create. So you can see this is the top of this tree, so to speak, that branch, and it's coming out like this. And then I have plenty of time to readjust it. Like, for example, much as I like this to be tall, long, but there's no bud here, so that will be a dead stub later on, so might as well cut it off so that this one will grow up to give the spreading out. So you have to think a little bit ahead of the time so that it will come out right the next time. And then I go down to work on the next branch, and you can see here there's one branch going that way, one branch to the side. So that's not bad, but I don't want any branch to be underneath a branch because that generally doesn't happen in nature. And then this is nice, a little stop to have a branch going out that way. So I cut it off, and hopefully the next time around I will have a branch going that way for me to work on. And so I just keep going down to the next level. So like this branch I cut off last time, a little carelessly, the bud is up here, I cut it, and then that becomes a stub. So you have to be a little careful, just cut it above the bud. Not cut it too far up because that becomes a stub. Well, this tree is kind of a little bit, this branch is kind of too tall. I have two possibilities. One is to cut it off altogether, and so this tree will be coming out like that and going down. Or I can let it, I cut it one notch above so that it can come out and sort of like this. I think I'll cut it off. And this branch, what I call is a little bit wimpy because you can see it's kind of a curving up. It's not like a powerful straighten out. So what you can do is carefully, gently try to bend it past this yield point without breaking it to straighten it out a bit so that to make the tree look more powerful in terms of its growth. And so that's what I do. And if it all fails, I cut it back and let those branches below to take over. But I thought maybe this can be a little bit more dramatic because, it's longer branch. And so this tree can be coming out and grow like that. But, I don't have to worry about it. I will worry about it in the fall when the tree grows again to give me opportunity to reshape it. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4 branches, I think this one is almost done. And so I will take care of a little bit of the bottom one. But actually, I let it grow like I call it a sacrificial branch, if you like, because I want this, given this is below, I like it to thicken a little bit more, so I should leave it alone. Then I will try to work on the next one, let's say the adjacent one, which is actually about the same height. And again, let me work on the apex first. And it's not a very good-looking apex, but that's okay. As part of the forest, it will not be too obvious. You can see the apex, there's some problem here. There's the stub. And then this part is going out every angle. So I would say I'll probably cut this one off so that I will have, and cut this one off, so the apex will be kind of going out like this and going out like that. The apex will be going out like that because that's what mature trees typically look like. And then I'll cut off the bottom ones to encourage the top to grow and look more natural because the top will shade the bottom from growing. So there's no stub here, no bud here, so therefore I have to cut it off here because it will die back to that point. So this is not a very good looking apex right now, but that's okay. It will grow up to give me the design opportunity to choose the better top next time. So basically there will be one top going, well, two tops going this way, one coming this way and one going that way to become the apex. And then I will clean off the stub here by using a branch cutter to clean that up later. But in the meantime, I'll use my clipper to clean up a bit. Oh, I better not, I'm breaking up trees. This branch will be coming out this way, and then branch going out that way. So I will thin off a little bit so that the right one is more likely to survive or to grow big. So I think one of the objectives is to clean off too many branches to shape it the way that it will look better later on. And I will actually make sure I cut off all of these, chisel it off or whatever to make it look more natural. And again, choose a branch to go the right direction and just peel off the rest of it. And this, I'll really get rid of it later on. And this tree, I think this is a more interesting branch, although this is fine too. But I would choose this one, and I'll keep this one for now. Well, this is pretty interesting too, so let me keep that too. Well, this is looking less interesting, but let me cut it off here so that these two can give me some design opportunity, because this one's kind of far out and going the wrong directions. But let me keep it also. Clip to clean up the clutter, at the same time leave enough to give yourself design options. Now the next branch, I had to go through all 6 branches to finish this tree. And I think this one, you can see it's growing a little bit like this. And so this has to be the apex, and this is to be the branch that's go to the side. So I will cut off to encourage the tree to grow to the side. To clean up the clutter, because I want this branch to go out that way, and this branch to come out this way. And you don't want the branch to go back this far. So I will cut off this one and save the little bud for apex. You can see this is going the wrong direction because the tree is coming up like this, and where this one is. So I'll cut off this one to let this to become the apex. And this will be a little too high, but I will cut it off next time down there. So this again is a little bit wimpy. I can straighten it out a bit so that the tree can come out and go branching this way. But it will become less obvious as the trunk thickens anyway, but still I like it to look nice now. This is right under this branch that it will never survive in nature, so might as well pull it off. And this tree is fine, could give me side branch. Look at this branch, it's going towards the other side, which it will not be in nature because that tree will prevent it from growing that way. So I can cut it off here to see what next. But then I'm gonna likely to count on this branch to go out, and so I cut it here, or maybe cut it here to make sure it grows out. Yeah, I think I'll probably cut it here. And then these will come out. Now the next branch, I'm already gone through maybe 3, so this is the 4th one. Again, try to make the apex. You can see this branch is coming up this way and going this way. So you want this one to be the apex, like this should go out here. So I'm pretty much done with this tree. It's a 5-branch tree, which is rather nice, simulating what you often see in nature where the trees start to branching out below. And it's a great climbing tree. You can just climb up. So I'm done with this tree, but it is still a little bit hard to see the design. So let me pull off all the leaves. That's known in a fall, in a late summer, it's called defoliating, because then I remove all the old leaves. You see they are brown due to the heat of the summer. You can see these leaves are burned because of the summer heat. And so you pull them off, and the bud there will have new shoots coming out. The entire tree will be of new buds in about 3-4 weeks, and it will look nice. So, and you can pull the little stubs off as well. I do that in part to show you the structure of the tree so that you knew my design scheme to create this clump tree, which I think is one of the desirable designs still compared to a single trunk upright. So I'm just pulling off all the leaves so that the new set of leaves will come out in a few weeks, will be totally new and tender and good looking, and then that will last longer through the fall because it's the newer leaves. The older leaves tend to dry out in the fall much quicker. And you just pull it along the growth path so that you will not pull the whole branch off or the whole stub off. Now you can see, as I said, I picked this as the front because of the powerful grip of the root that way. And then you can see as I rotate it, the tree will look kind of nice, natural looking out in the wilderness, a clump that grew up. Not all of it's perfect, but neither is nature perfect. But it creates a very pleasant, natural impression of what the tree can become. So with that in mind, then I'm done with this tree. And I will show you for sure in about, now it's August, I would say before March, anytime between November and March, I would put this tree in a bonsai pot. And you will see next year when the flusher leaves grow out, it will become a very respectable bonsai. 3 years from a, $69 Home Depot Japanese maple tree in a 7-gallon squat size pot. So making bonsai is easy if you know what you're doing. The second tree I will do, out of the 6 maple trees I got, I had to throw out a couple of them because the leaves are too big. And this one is actually, I believe it's broken off from part of the stump, the clump. And so you can divide them as you go too. So I make that into a single trunk. I think that's always a very pleasant looking tree, like a stately heritage tree eventually. Again, this tree was part of the tree I bought in the late fall of 2022, or maybe even early spring the year following. And then I cut it up and make it into a demonstration bonsai to show you that you can take ordinary nursery trees to turn into a nice bonsai. With that introduction, let me just start working on it. This is really not a very good situation because that branch died off and the other branches are pointing down, but you know, you make lemonade when you're lemon, so I cut this off and try to make this as much possibility as possible. These branches may come out to serve as a lower branch, so let me just cut them off. And this one possibly be the going up branch. This one is already broken off. This is a very problematic branch. So if I look at it, there's going to be some growth here, and then there's going to be some growth here. So I think what I'll do is I cut out this stuff, hoping something will come out here to be the apex. If nothing else, some of this can become apex. Like this one below can become apex, and then this one grow out, which is not too bad. So that's the side branch. And this one, for example, if you look at it, it's kind of growing way far too back. So cut that off because you want it to kind of go out this way. So I cut it off here and let it grow out this way. And this is underneath the branch. So usually they will die in nature. And this is a crotch, so that will die in nature. So just cut them off. But you notice the leaves coming out are getting smaller and smaller. So that's the benefit of ramification to make the leaves much smaller as time goes on. And you clean off as you go some of the unsightly stuff that's left. But although if you didn't do it, it would drop off eventually because it becomes brittle. So this is not too bad. This can come out this way. That becomes the apex of this tree. And then this branch, you can see this is growing out nicely. So maybe cut off here. So this could be a nice branch coming out. And I think this could be the apex of this branch. So I'll cut off these. This would be quite a nice tree because the leaves are reducing to a pretty nice size. You can see these growths are a little thin, so I think the tree doesn't have enough sun exposure. I should really put it in a brighter spot to kind of really thicken the tree to give it more hump. So you just gradually move things around to optimize by making observations and making changes. It doesn't have to be overnight. The trees are very forgiving. Changes you gotta make by being observant. Well, let me take this tree out to show you the origin of this tree. You can see this one actually is a piece of a branch broken off from the main trunk. And that's where I broke it off, and some roots came out. And there's not much roots growing because there was hardly any roots when I did that. But it's growing nicely, and the roots are coming out radially to look quite respectable in the long run. But you can see that's where the whole gaping hole is, where it broke off from the main trunk. And that's how you can propagate tree as well, by dividing them. So in short, this tree was bought from Home Depot, part of a $69 tree, but I broke off a piece because I liked the kind of a simple upright tree design, and I've been working on it. So this has been about 2.5 years ago from a division, basically. So now you can see it will become a nice bonsai, somewhat skewed triangle, very traditional design in a shallow oval pot. It will look very nice. And I'll put this tree probably in March into a bonsai pot to show you what you can do in 3 years from a nursery tree to make it into a bonsai. And I'm not going to defoliate this tree because most of these are new growth because it was in the shade. It didn't have too much burn. I should really put in the full sun so the branches become thicker and thicken this trunk a little bit more. With that in mind, then, I'm actually done with this tree. So this is the third tree, maple trees I will do. I think this is actually not part of the Home Depot group of maples I bought, but this is a seedling that's about 3 years old, maybe 3 years old, I would say. And I've been cutting it, and I substitute that for the little one I was doing with the the Home Depot maples because I want to do one shohin. The reason why I stopped doing that one is because the leaf is too big. I'm going to throw it out because I'd rather have smaller leaves to go. And this leaf is still a little bit big, but these are new growths. As they increase ramification, the leaf size will decrease. So let me very quickly prune this tree and then again put it in a bonsai pot in a March timeframe to show you what in this case, a 3-4 year old maple seedling would look like as a bonsai. They're pretty quick. It's easy to make bonsai. Look at the roots, and you can see the roots are actually not bad, spread out quite nicely. So I'm not going to fool with it, but work on the top apex first and then work my way down. I want to remove away some of the clutter so that the tree will grow out nice and clean. You can see I break off branches very roughly, and when it heals over, it looks nice. So you don't want to be too gentle. You want to be simulating nature. When a branch breaks, it breaks kind of abruptly, and then it will heal in a very nice, interesting pattern. That's what it would occur in nature. So I think there are really two styles of bonsai. Many of the bonsai trees you see in bonsai books, they are very finely manicured. They are basically simulating perfection, which is not always the nature, but that's okay. If that's what you like, you want to create something of perfection better than nature, I think that's admirable, but that's not my preference. I'd rather emulate nature and then improve on it a little bit for the aesthetic purposes. So I'm actually peeling off a lot of the growth to simplify the looks when it thickens and have more branches. You have to really peel off some of the growth to see where you're going with it. I'm just going to cut off some of the leaves so I can see where I'm going because they will be growing back very quickly. Again, I think this tree is growing too much in the shade. I need to move it out in the full sun so it grows more vigorously. Right now, I think the leaves are a little tender and the branches a little thin, and that's not the best way to grow a bonsai quickly. So you can begin to see this tree. Basically, it's a simple upright tree. And I'll give you one example. For example, I think this looks okay coming up this way. Another possibility is I can cut off this part to make the tree this tall as the next step. I must say my goal is to kind of make a shorter stout tree. So let me cut this off. So you can see now I'm making this an apex and this a side branch going down. That's not too bad. So just to show you an extreme case how you can design to change the look of a tree, I would just cut this branch off to shook it up a little bit and to show you, unless you make drastic cuts, you're not going to have a drastic tree. I hope you like this tree better. Look at this. When this grows up, this comes back. You may have a branch this way. And this could be I think this is a better looking tree than the other one. So today we did 3 Japanese maple trees. I think just want to show it's very easy to turn nursery trees into bonsai. So I hope you would do that because that's how you can get trees relatively inexpensively and then work on it. And in no time at all, they become your heirloom, your treasured tree that's of your own design. So have fun. I hope to see you next week. Do more bonsai. Thank you very much. Please click like and subscribe to our channel and send us your email address. Thank you very much.